has your week been? How's the month been for you? This month is rounding up already. It's rounding off. So how's it been for you? I hope it hasn't been bad. I hope it has been good. And if it was not so good, don't worry. The next day will be better. The next month will be better by the special grace of God. Really, really excited. I've gotten so many messages. Come on, sent out this flyer about love and money. Say, hey, love and ledger. I said, well, I like the way you guys put that. I said, it's ledger, like that. But for those of you that are joining us for the very first time, you're welcome to Let's Talk About It with Flakkie. I'm Flakkie. My name is Fuluke Rukera. And along with my crew, we try to bring up topics that are burning in the hearts of people. And most times that's kind of topics that you don't hear in our services, in our churches. And so we want to make sure that everybody gets a chance to talk about the things that are burning in their hearts. And most importantly, this community of people, which is the community of counselors. And why are you a counselor? You're a counselor because you have some experiences that I don't have. You have something that you have heard or seen or personally experienced that can help somebody else, that can help me. And other people have the same. So when we're together, we're a multitude, we're a multitude of counselors. And so we get to learn from each other. That's what Let's Talk About It is about. And community is growing. We still have a few minutes. So please, please send a message out. Send a message to your friends. That friend, send a message out and say, we're talking about love, we're talking about accounting, we're talking about money, we're talking about the relationship between money and love. People are interested. So please send it out, remind them. And then, of course, there's that person that always wants to join and says, oh, I forgot the timing. I forgot. Please send a message to that person as well. I've done mine. I've reminded all my friends as much as I can. Well, those that are my contact list, I've reminded them that it's time for us to have this exciting conversation. Once again, I want you to appreciate my crew. I have an amazing crew that work behind the scenes. I'm the face that you see, but there are people that work. There are people that do all the work. I just bring the message. They do so much. They do so much, and I really appreciate them because they are part of this message that we're bringing out, and they are part of the entire process. That's the truth. Well, any comments? Where are you joining us from today? Where are you joining us from? It doesn't matter whether you're next door to me or not. Just write the name of the place. Our YouTubers, if you are there, Dami, anybody on YouTube yet?
We have 3 people on YouTube right now.
Fantastic. It's loaded. Saturdays are busy. They are busy, we know, but they're there. Okay, hello to those on YouTube. As others join, tell them that we're saying hello to them. And go remind your friend as well. Go remind them and say, hey, we are ready. We're set. Thank you. Do we have any comments already before we get into it? Where are you joining us from? Carol, over to you. Where are our co-counselors joining us from today?
Sarah is joining us from Houston, Texas. Damilari from Kuopio, Finland.
Okay.
Caroline from United Kingdom.
Right.
Damilola from Lagos.
Yes, my Lagosian. A fellow Lagosian. Who else is there? Come on, let's know where you're joining us from. It just makes it more exciting to realize, to know how far the reach has become or how far the reach is becoming, because we're not there yet. But we can achieve this with your help. Follow us on Instagram, befriend us on Facebook, go on YouTube, look for us, like us, share, everything. I keep saying this. There are horrible messages and horrible things that get so much attention on the internet, on social media. But this is a life, it's a life-shaping talk show. Nobody joins Let's Talk About It and says, oh, I didn't get anything or wasn't no. There's always something. Either you share or you receive or you do both. So there's always something. So please, let's encourage the sharing of things that impact lives positively. Like, let's talk about it with Flakkie. Appealing to you, please do that for us so that we can have the reach, that God wants us to have. There's so much going on in the world that people need to get information. And to get information is to become educated. You know, when you are an educated consumer, you know what you're consuming on the internet. You're making the choices yourself. It's not being forced into your face, you know, like that. It's always better. Always, always better. Well, I think we'll just get started again. We're started already, but I mean, we'll get into the through of it. So love and ledger. The first thing that came to my mind, of course, is because I studied economics. So my first degree is in economics. So love and ledger for me immediately just takes me back to school, like, oh, ledger, accounting, and all that. Yes, that's the first thing that came to my mind when I saw that. And I just kept saying, I know that people are going to be interested in this, because even songs have love and money mixed into it. Is that like they're talking about that? And I always tell people, like, I'm a counselor, obviously. That's why we're doing this. But I tell people all the time that there are two things. There are two, the top factors for divorces, for separation. Two things, top: money, sex. Money and sex. Can you imagine that? Nothing else, money and sex. Top factors for divorces, for separation, for issues in relationship, money and sex. So we now have money up to date, and we're mixing it in with love. And the love we're talking about today, we're talking about dating. What is your consideration regarding money when you're choosing to date, when you're choosing to go into courtship, when you're going into marriage, and when you're married? What are your thoughts? What have you seen concerning that? Or what have you experienced? Has it been positive? What's your mindset? A friend of mine said she was going to join because her father said something that I really wanted her to share here. And I don't know whether she's here yet, but I know that when it's time to unmute, she'll probably be here. And I thought that was very, very interesting. So please start thinking about it. What are your thoughts? What are the things that have formed your impression about love and money over the years? Is it your own personal experiences? Is it the experiences of those that are around you? Do you have a story to share? Do you have an experience to share? What is it that you want to talk about when it comes to love and money? So what is love? What is love? I will think about that. Since we're talking about emotional love, not just, not siblings love, not 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 agape. Well, agape has to be entwined in it at all times. That's the right way to do it. It has to be there. We're talking about not filial like that. That's just friendship. No, we're talking about relationship love, love between the opposite sex. How does money come into it? What role does money play? What role does money play? This day I have 3 scenarios, but scenarios are not going to be detailed. I'm just going to mention the names of these people, and then I'll just read out what's the synopsis, because having three will have too much, so I can't start reading all that. So we're talking about love here. We're talking about love in relationship. Please, love in relationship between a man and a woman, not just any kind of love. That's what we're doing. And how does money come into it? What is the role of money? Does it matter? Does it not matter? Love and money, are they mutually exclusive, or can they be put together? How do you manage love and money? How can you be successful at it? I'm looking forward to hearing from all generations. I'm looking forward to hearing from the baby boomers, from the Generation X, from the millennials, from the Gen Zs as well. I'm really looking forward to, because I want to know what you're thinking, because I think over the years, over decades, the shift, there's been a shift when it comes to money and love. There's been a shift. And you might not have noticed, or you might agree with me, but there's been a shift. And that's one thing we need to talk about. Is it a positive shift? or is it negative, or is it just is expected? All right. Are we together? So if we're together, please just send an emoji so I can know that we're on the same page. Let me know. Let me know. I can't see you. So it's good for me to know whether we're still connecting. Are we connecting? Thank you. All right. Thank you. We're connecting. I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm glad. Thank you. It's very, very important, when one is talking, I just as we are just talking and there's no response. It's always one kind, but hey, at the end of the day, we get the message across. All right, so we're talking about love between a couple, a man and a woman, and what role money plays in it. The first one I'm going to be talking about is from Aisha. And Aisha, sorry, let me look at this. Oh, okay, for Aisha, just bringing out the basics of it. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to bring it up. Okay. In the interim, while I'm trying to pull that up, please get ready because I know we want to hear from you today. All right. So what Aisha says that number one, Aisha is 37 years old. She's 37 years old. She's married and she has one child. She's married and she has one child. Aisha says that for her, money and love cannot be separated. That money and love cannot be separated. They're together. And in getting married, in thinking about who she was going to get married to, it was important to her that the person had the kind of wealth that could sustain the lifestyle that she needed. And that's Aisha. Aisha said it was important to her. So I said, okay, so you mean the other, let me use the word toasters, prospective husbands that came along? She said, yes, many. Said many. I said, so how did you figure out which one? She said, it wasn't that I chose the richest. She said, I didn't choose the richest one, but I chose the one that had the kind of money that I needed to fulfill, to live my lifestyle. So for Aisha, she's 37, she has one child now. She got married 2 years ago. And she says that, okay, so she's from the northern part of Nigeria. And she says for her, that's rare. It's not common. And everybody already thought that there's something wrong with this girl. How can you be 35 and you're not yet married? She said, but she needed to marry. But I said, okay, you have people that are wealthy that came. So why didn't you just get married? She said it wasn't just the wealth. And that was what I wanted to know. Say it wasn't just the wealth. They needed to also have some things that they had in common. That was important to her too, that they had some common grounds. So for Aisha, common grounds were important, but at the same time, money was important. They needed to have the kind of money that would sustain her lifestyle. That's Aisha. I don't know what you have to say about that, but do you think she's right? Do you think she's wrong? Whether we think she's right or wrong, that's the life she has chosen. And we're not condemning anybody. But she's sharing and saying that for her, love and marriage, love and money, marriage, all that is together. You cannot separate it as far as she's concerned. So for Aisha, there was never a consideration. Never. She did not consider marrying someone that was not wealthy. She did not consider it at all. It was not possible. The way she has put it, it wasn't even like anything. All right? Are we together? Yeah? All right, so that's Aisha. Please note that, but please remember that I'm just sharing these people's stories to jumpstart our conversation so that you would know, and you can talk about them. They don't mind. That's why they shared with me. If you want to talk about them, fine. They don't have to take our counsel. You don't have to. They are living the life that they want to live. Okay, all right. The next person is Zeal. And Zeal is the guy. Sorry, yeah. Zeal is the guy. Zeal says he's 42 years old and he was married, but he's now divorced. So he was married, but he's now divorced. He was married for 7 years. Yeah. So he was married for 7 years. He's divorced now. And as far as he's concerned, it's money that caused the divorce. Money brought about the divorce. In talking with him, he's 42 now. The person who was married to for 7 years, as Zeal felt that she was too money minded, that she would always say, she had a job too. The young lady had a job, and she would say, you don't have to ask me about my salary. He felt that from the home that he came from, so his mother was a teacher. Growing up, his mother was a teacher, and his father was a civil servant. And he saw his parents always just do things together. Maybe he didn't physically see them put their money together, but everything that they did together. The mother would never say, go and ask your father for school fees. The parents would say, we have paid your school fees. Those are kind of examples that he gave to me. And he said his mother would not say um, um, something like, or the father would say, ask you, they just seem to be on the same page, from the way he said, I don't know his parents, said they always seem to be on the same page. And he and his siblings, that was how they grew. That was how they grew. He has 6 other siblings. And even though they're not wealthy, they were comfortable. Their parents made sure that they had a good education, each of them, and they provided for them. And so when he met his girl, I'm going to call her Zoe. I didn't change his own name, but I'm changing her name. When he met his girl, his ex-wife now, Zoe, he said he felt that she was the kind of person that he could develop that kind of relationship that his parents had. But so I also asked him, I said, but you had courtship, right? When you met, I said, yes, they met through friends, family friends at a wedding and all that. I said, okay, how long were you in courtship for? He said, 3 years. I said, so you're telling me that in 3 years, you did not see any red flag, but you're married to her now for 7 years, no, meaning that you've known her for 10 years, and suddenly, he said, no, that as far as he's concerned, she was the one that did not portray herself the way she really was. That's his side of the story. He said that she would, as soon as they got married, she would say, don't ask me about my salary. You're the man of the house. You have to take care of our needs and all that. And because that was at the beginning of the wedding, she wasn't pregnant yet or anything. Said, but that's all. You have to take care of the needs of the house. So he would ask her, what are you going to do with your money? He said, my money is my money. My money is my money. You're the man of the house. Take care of it. House rent, pay it. Um, Food, everything. Just do it. He said initially he thought because they just married, maybe she'll begin to understand better, interacting with other women and knowing that your husband might not be able to do everything. He said, but it got worse. It got worse. She got pregnant. They had a child. And when they had the child, he was trying to do everything. He said, look, because maybe Mabel said, Miss Mabel, the reality of it is my salary could not carry us. And she kept making demands. And I kept asking her, what are you doing with your money? So I said, okay, what about family? Did you guys try to, does intervention and all? Said that as far as her family was concerned, if you married our daughter, then you should take care of her. Her money should be used for other things in their family or for herself. So her family seemed to support her. And it didn't work out. Obviously, they're divorced now. Of course, they're working towards divorce. They're not legally divorced, but they're not living in the same building anymore. They're not living in the same apartments anymore. They're separated. And she was pregnant when the separation occurred. She's had a second baby now. And so they have a child. I think the child's about 5. And then she just had a baby like 2 years ago or something. I don't know what that child is 2 now. So then let's just say they have a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old because she was pregnant when they got separated. So as far as he's concerned, she was driven by money. and that was too much. He thought that they could build a life together and all. I'm sure people will have questions and they will have their own views to give concerning Seal and Zoe as well. And the last person, I'm just going to call her X, because I didn't call her Abike or X, because she's not married. Abike is 27 years old. Abike is 27 years old. She's not married. And Abike said, love and money, they can never be separated. She said, as far as she's concerned, love only works when there's money. Love only works where there's money. If there's no money, then it cannot work. So I said, is it your money, his money? He said, anyhow, money together, Sha. You must have money. That if there's no money, it would not work. She's 27 years old, she's looking to get married. And so I said, okay, what about the guys that are there guys that have asked you out, want to get married to you? Or are you seeing somebody? And she says yes, but that one of the things that has kept her from getting married is people's attitude towards money. There was a guy that she liked, and he liked her too, and they're working towards it. But the guy said something to her a few months ago, because she's 27 years old, but she lives in Lagos now, but she did not grow up in Lagos. So she lives in an apartment, a one-bedroom, self-contained apartment in a nice area. And the guy said to her that you're doing well, so you can look after yourself. So when we get married, you just carry on doing those things. And she didn't understand. She said, "What do you mean?" He said, "You're paying your rent here is amazing. You're paying it. You're doing you're looking after yourself." So she said to him, "So what's the purpose of my getting married to you if I'll continue to look after myself?" And that was what brought about the issue. And she said, Auntie Flakkie, I can't. There's no way that I can marry someone. I feel he's stingy and all. So as far as she's concerned, money and love are intertwined. They cannot be separated. She doesn't mind marrying somebody, that's just at par with her. But as far as she's concerned, the money is, it makes it good. It makes it move. It makes it move. So those are my three cases. They're not cases, my three situations that I have to share with you today. But there are thoughts I want to hear from you. What is your thoughts? You can pick any of them, or you can talk about your own experience. What is your thought? What formed it? What formed it? On the internet this week, I know I saw this, sure most of us must have seen it. This man that came on some show and he was crying and talking about his wife, Mayowa. I don't even know who they are, but obviously she must be popular, because people just, the way they call, just it's like, a popular person, you call them just by their first names and people get to know who they are. I said his wife, Mayowa, and how she went abroad and he sponsored her abroad and she was never in touch with him when she came. And he went on and on about changing Naira to dollars. That's a lot, changing Naira to dollars. My wife ended up marrying somebody else. So there are other parts of their story, obviously, but obviously the money part is there, because he went on to say that when he stopped sending money was when he bought a truck, a Jeep for himself. He didn't have a car. Trying to say that he was spending a lot and he was able to now save when she was no longer in the picture in terms of him sending money to her. If you have anything to say about them, you can say it, but I don't know them. But that's what I saw. And I was just like, wow, what a coincidence that on Let's Talk About It with Flake, we're talking about love and LEDGER. Do you think that ties into this story as well? Do you have a personal story? Time is ticking, so I would love to hear from you very quickly. First, I'll ask my co-presenter, Carol, are there any messages in the chat, either YouTube or on Zoom, for you to read out for all of us? The messages are there, but it's always better when it's read out so that we can all hear and comment as well. Thank you very much.
So Isoken said maybe she earned more than him, or maybe that was her background, where mommy's money belonged to mommy, while daddy's money belonged to the family. Then she said, bingo, you just said what she said.
Oh,
That's all.
okay. That's for Zeal and
Yes,
Zoe.
ma.
Okay, that's for Zeal and Zoe. Okay, all right. Anybody else?
No further comments, ma.
No that comments. Okay, what about on YouTube? Do you have any comments? Our YouTubers, we're enjoying you. Thank you for being there. Please, let's have your comments as well. And please, you can unmute. Don't just put messages in the chat too, because we want to hear from you. Love and ledger, love and marriage, love and money, marriage and money. How does this work? Does it determine who you're going to marry? Like my darling Abike, I called her Abike now. I called her why before. My darling Abike saying that it holds that, it's intertwined. But Aisha said it categorically that it determined who she was going to marry. What are your thoughts? Do you think that people are being money-minded? Zeal too, obviously, has its own issues there. But what do you think? What do you think? What are your thoughts? Please, let's share. Let's talk about it with Flakkie. We're talking about money and love. And the topic is love and ledger. What are your thoughts? What can we get from you? And what have you gotten from the three scenarios that I have shared? Please, yes, go ahead.
So while we're waiting for other hands, because one thing I've realized is that once one person go, then so many people will start coming. So my
Yes.
name is Damilare, and I'm just going to put this here. As a young man, deciding to even get married at first, I grew up with this mentality because I saw how our house was run, right? And it was a big thing for me because I kept saying this thing, if I don't have money, I'm not going to get married. Well, thankfully to the people that I have in my corner, people like you, people like Uncle K, that helped me to see, that shaped my belief and helped me to see things differently. And I come to realize that in relationship, I think what is important is management skill. Like if you're in a relationship, do they have management skill? I think that's the most important thing because Rome is not built in a day. And because whether the person who wants to get married to somebody who is wealthy already, that wealth has to come from somewhere. Nobody just wake up into it. Maybe people do it these days, but even if you wake up into a pool of wealth today, trust me, somebody in your lineage had to work for that wealth. Yeah.
Okay.
So management skill is really, 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 really important because anything you cannot manage, then there's no point in saying you want to amass wealth, or else you will just gather the wealth and just throw everything away again. When I met my fiancée, there was a book that I came across around that 2019 by R.S. Ugu. It's called The Smart Money Woman. I read that book. I'm not a woman, right? But I was so
I love the
interested.
series.
I
I
read
love the
that book.
book.
You stop
Yes.
that. I read that book and I had to make the decision like whosoever I was going to be getting married to that time had to read this book. So I personally bought that book for my fiancée then. Even we reread the book recently at home again. I mean, just like, okay, let us refresh our memory and all like that. So money is really, really important. Money is very, very, very important. But it's just the mindset and the attitude. Take it away from her. It's just the mindset and the attitude at which this our generation has now put on it. That's where I find it really, really questioning. I had said I belong to that school of thought as well that says that my money is for the family, my wife money that she can do anything that she wants to do with it. But
Hold
thankfully,
on. Let me get that. Hold on. So you're
I've
saying
always said that
your money is for the family, but
it's
your
for the
wife's money is
family.
not for the family.
I mean, that's what I said. Like, it's okay if you want to do anything that you want to do with your money. But I married a kind woman, and see the way God has now done it. After we got married, I'm here. I mean, she has been here in Europe before I came, and it was a different ballgame. So that my mentality would not work here at all. At all. So for like my first year, it was our money that we were spending, and I would just be saying, "See, I will balance you, I will balance you, balance you." So now imagine if she had gone by with what I had said before, I would be in a hot mess because it
You
would
will
not
be the
be.
best, though. You will
I
be
mean,
the best.
it would have been a total disaster. But my point is just that money is good, but everything should not be placed on it. It is management because when we build things together, it is what we build together that really, really sustain and that last.
Mm,
That's my what's it called? And
what you put together.
for Aisha that says that this is the kind of person that she wants to get married. I think it's okay for everyone to choose whatsoever it is that they want. Because the truth is that whatsoever it is that you choose, you'll be the one to deal with it.
That's
And
right.
that's just the reality. No matter
That's
if
right.
somebody say, "Oh, do this, do this," if you do not follow your own mind, when the repercussion come, you have nobody to blame except yourself.
That's so
So
true.
anything you now choose, have the mind to deal with the consequences. It's as simple as that. And that's just my own. And I'm sorry for the other guy because you don't cut and don't say if there are things that you cannot miss them if you know what you are doing. That
Mm,
she's money minded, that is not something that you can miss because there would have been a way she would behave towards you. Does she give you gift? I mean, these are things that when you were dating, what were you talking about? I mean, anybody that will not change or that will not bend over for you when you were dating, you think they will bend over for you when you get married? No, it's not going to work. It doesn't work like that. So character is not something that you can just wake up and say somebody will change. No, it
mm.
doesn't work like that. So I'm so sorry for him that he has to go through that. But marriage should not be about money. In as much as it's important, it's management that is really, really, really important. That's my 2 cents. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dami. So getting from you here that money is important. The management skills, and the management of the money is what is most important. And I like that book as well. And I like the series. I like the movie, Smart Money Woman. And I'll recommend it to anybody. I mean, very sensible, very, very sensible there. Okay, thank you so much. Anybody else, please? On mute, what are your thoughts? We share 3 scenarios: love and money. It's love and ledger. That's our topic, and the ledger is from accounting terms, obviously. And so it's love and money and marriage. What is it a determining factor? As a guy, yeah, let me talk to the guys because somebody said to me, he said, I don't know why they're always talking about girls chasing men that have money or wants to write. He said many men now, many young men want girls that have money too. So that I know it upsets her when they say that. Say because many young men want girls that have money. So why do they always pick on girls? So that's something else to consider when you're going to respond. You can respond to that as well if you want to. If you have anything to share. And I'm looking forward to hearing stories and hearing personal experiences and also comments about this. And counsel too. We're a multitude of counselors here. How should we handle this issue? All right back to you guys. Thank you, Carol. Dami, who is there? I know Queen is there as well too. Do we have anything from anybody?
Yes, so we have comments from Kende Adebayo. She has
Oh,
said financial unity strengthens marital unity. Then, if he has money before you marry him, what if something happens and he doesn't have money again? What would she do? I think this is referring to the other lady that insisted that the guy has to have money.
yes,
Then
that's
Muti said, okay. Then Muti said, marriage should not be about money. In a relationship, both parties should be responsible for finances. If all the financial responsibility is on one person, that marriage will not be sustainable, especially if the man is an average earner. That's all the comment now.
okay. All right. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. That's Mami Adebayo. Thank you so much. We're looking forward to hear your voice because we want to hear from this give us these nuggets of wisdom. So, financial unity strengthens marital unity. Wow, wow, wow.
We have a hand, ma.
All right, please.
Hi. Hello, can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hi, my name is Isoken. As usual, I'm here to support my girl, Flakkie. And I was going
Thank
to just
you.
listen today, not talk. Start my video. Oh my goodness. No, I'm not sure my hair. I don't think I can be seen.
That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Just
Um,
talk.
all right. So money, right? I I I I have a different take on this. I don't know if everybody knows about this AI stories that are now all over YouTube, right? I'm so crazy about them. They are AI stories, a lot of them are Nigerian stories, and they talk about things like money a lot. So now a lot of us come from backgrounds where mommy worked hard with daddy, and daddy rewarded her by marrying other women or having girlfriends when daddy was richer, right?
You said
So
reward.
some,
Hold on. You said
huh?
rewarded her. That was a
Yeah,
reward.
yeah. I'm being sarcasm 101, right? So,
I know.
so,
I
so,
know.
so you can imagine that's how daddy repaid them, right? Now they see that, and so some people are afraid to stay, meet a guy that they can build up together because the fact they're thinking, will he stay with me when he's now successful? Meanwhile, the guys that were not successful, that were once not successful, but are successful, remember that how girls treated them when they were poor, and now they are paranoid and they're trying to make sure
Hmm.
they can find a guy who, a girl who loves them for them and not their money. And don't get me
Hmm.
wrong, there are also a lot of um, very what's this word? There are a lot of girls that they soft life or nothing, right? That have made up their mind that they will do anything for soft life. Those are the ones that would rather be a side chick or be the fifth wife instead of them to be with, someone who is not wealthy and and give up that soft life. So based on what I like coming to this program, there's another program Flakkie had, and she said something I will never forget. So I say it as a mantra: there are good women out there, there are good men out there. It's gonna be okay. So, and then we're Christians, right? So God is with us. I was talking with a young man yesterday. I was like, God is with us. If you
Yeah.
cooperate with God, God will cooperate with you. Now, having taken care of the spiritual part, this is what I think about love and money. Back in the days, I don't want to date myself, but back in the day, they used to make engaged couples read a book by Philip Yancey called Love, Sex, and Communication, because a survey
Ah.
then, uh, um, um, sorry, money, sex, and communication, because they believed that those were the three factors that broke marriages: communication, money, and sex, right? Now, as to how is your attitude about marriage going to affect your marriage? I think there's no right or wrong answer. I
Mm.
think it is finding your person, right? So finding your person means compatibility in the area of money. Just as you try to find out if you're compatible, like physically attracted to one another, right? So compatibility, like I said about the girl that they gave an example of earlier, she probably
Mm-hmm.
came from that background where daddy always said, your money is your money, but I bring money, I take care of this family, I'm a provider, right? But people need to realize that a man's whole personality is not reduced to being a paycheck. There's
That's
much
right.
more than
That's
that,
right.
right?
Yes.
So I used to run a program with young folks back in the day, and there was a day I asked them, all of them were in America, and I said, would you want your wife to come 50-50 with you? And they said, yes, of course. We're in America, blah, blah, blah. I said, would you want your wife to do all the cooking? And they said, of course. I'm like, that's hypocritical. I said, the reason mommies were able to do cooking and all those things back home was because daddy provided all the money, and mommy didn't have to do much. She didn't work. So you can't have it both ends. So what am I saying? So I don't ramble and go down the rabbit hole. To find your person during the engagement is when you talk. You have to talk. That's not the time you're talking about movies
Yes.
and your best show or your best. It's when you're talking about how do you view finances? Do you
Yes.
believe in 50%? I had told a couple that had been married for a long time that came to me, and I said, so I'll just give this example. I'm trying not to talk too much. I'm trying not to, I have so much in my head,
It's okay.
and the lady never had money, right? She was always doing menial jobs while the guy always had money. Then so he always used to taunt her. With just your little money, what's your problem? Blah, blah, blah. Always. Then guess what? Down the line, he had a crisis. He lost his job. The girl now got a decent job. Guess what the girl started doing? She started taunting him back. And I had to sit both of them down, both of them older than me. And I said, what are you doing? I said, it's natural to want to get back at your husband. But I said, but you're one team. You're not opposite teams. There's no competition here.
Yeah, that was her opportunity to teach him right.
Yes, exactly. That was a learning moment for the guy. But she had gone through years of being belittled and humiliated. So that was her natural go-to place, right? So immediately she was. So I said, don't do that. I said, you never can know when things will turn around. And if you don't get the opportunity to show him what he shouldn't have done, then when things turn around, he's going to go back to that vicious, toxic circle, right? So it's who is your person? You have to have that conversation. So I tell couples all the time, there are various ways in which you can talk about money. Do you want to do 50-50, where you pay 50% of the bills, I pay 50%? Do you want to do percentages where you bring a certain percentage of your salary and I bring a certain percentage of my salary? Or do you want to do project-based? Daddy, you take care of these. Mommy, I'll take care of that. The most important thing is to have those talks, to agree about those things before you get married. And then nothing is shocking you. And you have to keep your eyes open. I dated a guy once, and I was just looking at the guy. I will do things like, let's go out to eat in an expensive restaurant. It's okay, it's not going to go to those restaurants normally. But I just wanted to see what he would do. And over the course of time, I sat down, thought within myself, and I said, this guy is naturally stingy. You understand? He's stingy. That's just who he is. He's not going to change. He is stingy. Every time he would buy presents, he will buy me the cheapest presents, right? And it's not because he didn't have money. Have you ever met some people who, even if they have money, they'll say, can I have a fish? What I'm gonna no. Why are we spending all that money? No. I will never fly business class. Why? Because we're still gonna get to the same place together. Not because they can't afford it, but because they just have a scarcity mindset. So during your engagement or during your dating period, church doesn't like to say dating, so young ones have lied and they call it courting, but they're essentially dating, But during those periods, you want to ask and open your eyes to see so that you can accept this person for who they are and not get disappointed with who this person is. So money and love, do they go together? It depends on, you can find your own person. You can be the kind of person that when you talk to this person, you find out, does this person align with my values, with what I believe? It doesn't make that person wrong. It just makes them different. And then you can determine that this is not, my person. For the girls that are out there looking for soft life, some end well, some don't. For the girls that are out there that are afraid that I will work hard with him, and when he makes it, he will upgrade me for a newer model. With God, all things, they are possible. So What am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that there's no right or wrong. It's finding your own person, being led by the Spirit of God, not judging anyone, and keeping your eyes wide open so that nothing takes you by surprise. Sorry for the long spiel.
Oh, it's okay. Thank you so much. Taking so many notes from you now. Thank you. Thank you. The most important thing, like you said, is finding your own person. And also talking about communication during courtship, talking. Don't just go out only and whatever, talk about, the kind of how you manage money. And when you're talking about the budgeting, talking about, are we doing 50-50? At times, you know what? You don't even, it might not even be as explicit as that. You would see it, just like the person you were dating, who you went to restaurants with, and you saw his reaction, to things. So you already knew. There was no need to even say anything. You could tell that this person is naturally stingy, even to himself. Even to himself. So what are we saying? If you are still on the program and you haven't shared with somebody, this is the time to do that. You don't want people to get into a rut when they get married or they're in a relationship and they're like, how am I going to back out now? People know us already, da 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 da, and all that. The most important thing is finding your person, talking about it. Talking about it. You can't not talk about the values that you share or note it, because you can talk and somebody can say something else, but how do they act? How do they act? Thank you so much. It's okay. Thank you for always being there, and thank you for sharing of yourself and sharing, so many things with us here today. Thank you. Talking about love and ledger, what money and love, do they mix? Are they mutually exclusive? Is money always an issue, or should it be a consideration in picking who you would marry, how you would marry, and how you'd continue? We shared the story of Zil and Zoe, married for 7 years, dated for 3 years, and they're divorced now. So they're working towards divorce. They're on that road. They're not yet divorced legally because, as far as Bill is concerned, she is so money minded. It's all about money, 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 and she doesn't contribute to anything. Doesn't contribute to anything. Then we have Aisha. Aisha says that she waited, even though culturally where she's from, they get married earlier. She waited to find the kind of person that she felt, look, you maintain the lifestyle that she has and still had the values that she wanted in a man. Okay. And then finally with our young yes, Abike, who is 27 years old and says that, you know what, it's very important to me that money is discussed in our relationship, and it's not about my money or his money, it's how do we handle money, how do we carry on. All right, so we have that. You can comment on those ones and you can say anything to what somebody else has said. So if you have a rebuttal to what Dami said or what Isoke said, please go ahead as well and you can share yours. The most important thing is getting this out there so that people know that there's a resource for them and know that I'm not just talking this. Somebody hears this today and says, wow, I didn't think about it like that, and they can make a better decision. That's the purpose of Let's Talk About It with Flakkie, so that people make decisions that actually work for their lives and impact them positively. All right, thank you. All right, Carol, anything?
Yes, we have Olu Odushola from YouTube. She said, money is important, but should not be the only determining factor.
Money is
Then
important, but not
Kende,
the determining factor. Okay, thank
yes,
you.
ma. Then Kende on Zoom said, a wealthy marriage is not one with the biggest bank accounts, but the one with the deepest unity. There must be good money management and understanding. Financial wisdom is important.
I like that. A wealthy marriage is not about the one with the biggest money. And that's real. That's real. I remember when there's this crisis, there's this young lady, she's an actress that got married to some older man, and people were not, or some people, of course, some people hailed her, that's life. Some people put her down and insulted her mother as well for letting her do that. And for the longest time, she would have pictures of them, and people say, you see, when, God do my own too, this. And then she made a comment about wanting to cry. It's better to cry in a range or something than to something that was something derogatory to poor people, And recently, her marriage, kind of hit some rocks. I don't know what the state of the marriage is. I'm not big on those stories. And people came, not for her alone, but for the guy as well. And it came to them and said, you see, you were marrying because of money, you were doing this. At the end of the day, we don't even know whether you're ever happy, and talk about those things. So in consideration, when you're thinking about love and money, there are so many things to look at. It's such a wide spectrum, so many things to look at and so many combinations. But I remember her story now, as we're talking about this, like, I wonder where that is now. I wonder if, she'll be able to share, after some years, maybe she'll be able to share from the deepest part of her heart how the marriage really was, and if she thinks she made a good decision or not. All right. All right. Anybody else? Anything from anybody on YouTube? Okay, you read YouTube already. All right. Does anybody have any comments for us? Please, we want to hear you. Don't put it in the chat only. We want to
This
hear
one
your voice.
we have two hands up.
Yay.
I think Carol. Carol, is that you?
Yes. So
Okay.
Auntie, I have a
And
quick
after Carol,
question.
hold on. After Carol, we'll take Mommy Kende Adebayo.
Oh, fantastic. And so we're looking forward to hearing from everybody. Please talk to your friends, let them come on. We need to do this. We want love, money, marriage. We want it to be beautiful. We don't want people to be sad, like zeal after 7 years. That's separation. No matter what, when people go through separation or go through divorce, there's pain and there are scars. If you think the person is rubbish, they've gone, no matter what, they have impacted your life and they leave a scar. We don't want scars. We don't want scars. That's why we have Let's Talk About It with Flakkie. That's why we're here. So that in the multitude of counselors, we get, the right information. All right, Carol, let's hear from you.
Auntie, so I just need clarity on something, but I'll give a bit of background.
Good.
So I've always seen myself as someone who has not really cared for money as such. I've always placed love far higher above money, to be honest.
Yeah.
And so when people are like, lower your standard, I'm like, what standard is there to lower? It's just, I just want the love to be sincere and to be mutual. And I think that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
So I met this person some time ago and he didn't have much, but amongst many other persons I've come across, despite him not having much, he's been the one that has really shown that financially that they care and now the gifts and all these things. So I was really surprised because amongst most of them, he's the one that didn't really have much.
Can you
But
imagine?
something happened. It happened one time. We went out and I realized that it seemed that he had budgeted the amount he was going to spend on the outing. And I was not, it was a first experience for me, like for me to, and when we go out, I'm not someone that wants to get everything on the menu. I know it's somehow since I'm the one speaking for myself, but I'm very reasonable.
You're not
So I
extravagant.
don't, yes, I'm not. So, but for me to still notice that it seemed like this person had planned out everything financially, every money that was going to be spent, everything that was going to be done. I struggled with it and I felt like, is this a sign that this person doesn't really love me as they're claiming to? So I'm not clear on that. So
All
I
right.
just
Thank
need
you
your,
so
yeah.
much. Thank you for sharing that, Carol. That's personal. You know the truth? As far as I'm concerned, I like this young man. And I'm telling you why I like him. I like him because he's able to say, this is the fabric I have. I can't sew a more extravagant style. Let me manage this fabric for what I can do. And that's the kind of person that you would always be able to, like you said, He wasn't the richest of all the suitors and all, but he was one that would give the gifts. Meaning he's a generous person, he's compassionate, he has a good heart, but he also has a good head. He has a good head, knowing that we're not going to spend all our money on what does not, on the meal. The going out is good, but there are other things that we can still do or that we need to do. So he's not the kind of person that when you're married to would go into a venture and they say, babe, sorry, we don't have rent, we don't have money for rent this month, so, because he didn't think, he budgets. I like that. So I don't think he has anything to do with him not liking you. I think he's just the kind of person that says, you know what, at the end of this month, this is what I want to spend, and that. And that kind of a person would save and will work for your family. It gets stingy when he does not do what the other things that you said. You can say, this person is stingy, but the other things that you said does not portray him wrongly or in the light of a stingy person. And so I actually feel safe with that. I feel safe with that, because if I were young and dating him and he did that, I would ask and say, oh, so you had an amount, okay, why? As we grow in the relationship. That means that I'm not scared of my children being sent out of school for not paying tuition, because he's able to say, how do we manage our money? Did I answer your question? Did I allay your fear?
Yes, ma, you did. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. And I hope somebody else got something from that. Let me give a personal example. A few years ago, my husband had got into politics, and I don't even know whether I told him this. People had whispered and said, you guys, I hope he's not going to bankrupt you. I hope he's not, people just whispered. I didn't have to respond. I just said, I know he'll be okay. We'll be fine. Because I know that he is not going to jeopardize our home. He's not going to jeopardize our children's tuition. He's not going to jeopardize our feeding in the family. He's not going to jeopardize the life that we have because of a political position. So I didn't have the fear. I didn't have that fear. That's budgeting, thinking, and that's trust. Like, Tunde is not going to do that. He's going to be, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. So I'm saying that because somebody else will say, they went into this and all the money finished. He will not do that because he knows that he has responsibilities. So for me, money and love, that balance has to be there in terms of, I'm talking about my personal relationship now, and knowing that this person is able to care for us. And caring for us doesn't mean that, I have no contribution. I don't have anything to do. No, that doesn't mean that. But I know that exclusively, even if it's only him doing everything and all that, he would think about it and say, this is what we can do. This is what we cannot do. That's real for me. So budgeting, good. But a miser, no. But there are stages in our lives where at times you might actually look like you're a miser. Like you're being miserly, you're being stingy. It might just be because of a phase. But there's some people that you can tell. You can tell. I remember somebody dated somebody that, like, I have friends, and she was dating somebody or in courtship with somebody that he never bought a gift. For me, that was a red flag. I'm not money-minded. I'm not someone that has raised her children in that sense as well. I don't raise my biological, my spiritual, or I always say academic children like that. I don't say that, or even my friends. No, it's not about being money-minded, but how would you give a gift? How would you be in a relationship and you never just saw something and say, oh, let me buy this for my babe? That was a red flag for me. That was a red flag for me. Like, why wouldn't you do that? And then Carol had just buttressed my point by saying the person she was talking about was not even the richest of the guys, but he was not stingy. So it's important. It's important to know this person, to get them out. And let me say the other side. he would always want the expensive things, from her. He would not not that he would say buy that for me, but he did not mind living the soft life off of her. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay. All right. So that's it. All right. Back to Dami and Carol for the control. Is there anything from YouTube, Queen? Is Queen there? Okay.
Nothing on YouTube, nothing new on YouTube for now. So we're going to
Okay. All right.
unmute Mommy Kehinde Adebayo, and
Okay,
after
please.
that, we're going to have Damilola Smith Adegoke.
Okay. Okay.
Hello,
Hello, ma. How are you, ma?
I'm good. God bless you for
Thank
this
you so much.
program.
We're always
I
excited to
think
have you. Thank you for the things you've
this
written already.
this program is life building,
Amen.
and I
Thank you,
want
ma.
to say that financial unity actually strengthens marital peace, marital enjoyment, marital oneness. Before we got married, we discussed so many things. Maybe we say I'm old school. I'm 47 years old in marriage, so we discussed so many things, and finance was not left out. How will we manage our money? We were both earning salaries. So, what do we do with our salaries? How do we manage it? How do we manage? And we decided to budget. So, once we have our salary, we take the tithes, money for food, money for housing, the children's school fees, and savings. But we decided that we don't just spend everything every month. My wife, you take this. I don't want to ask you how you spent it or what you did with it. My husband, this is for you. I will not ask him what he does with his own or whatever. And most of the time, the two of us will end up spending it in the home. We spend it on the family. So it is important that even before marriage, you discuss all these things that will help to avoid, make sure that you provide, help to avoid wastages, plan for the future, and protect the family needs. The idea of men or spouses keeping secrets about their financial capacity can be very dangerous. It breeds suspicion.
Yes.
One may say, okay, we have this need. I don't, maybe he may even have money now. He won't say it, he won't know. Or they will be thinking, maybe my wife has money and she's not even coming up. So it's better to grow up together, understand and have open communication about your money, about your finances, so that there'll be no suspicion anywhere, so that there'll be no hide and seek anywhere. No, then you will not avoid responsibilities. It is important to dream together, save together, build together, plan for the future. Financial strength is very important. And like I put on in the comment, I said financial wisdom is essential. Yes, financial stress is one of the major causes of marital conflict. And I want to say that money does not create love. If not, very wealthy people that have money, they will not be divorcing. They will have good homes. The money does not actually create good home. So many things come together. So many things come together to build a home. Money is good, and it can even test your love for one another. So the role of money cannot be underestimated, but it should not be yes. Marriage should be built on love, respect, trust, and wise management of whatever you have. Wise management of your money, wise management of your time together, wise handling and management of your children. Those are things that will contribute to good marriage. So, happily ever after is not free. It really costs emotions, relation, and spiritual aspect of one's life. It is important. God will bless all of you. And now that was, I mean, we started as salary earners. Now we became business people, and it was more money. And when we had difficulties, we had a few years of financial difficulties. It was really, really difficult. Nobody, not even the children, knew we had problem. We bonded together more at that time, praying that God will sort out this issue. God will sort us out. Even the children in the home did not know that we had issues. So money should not create distance or create problems within it. It should even bond it together, because when you are united in it, God will sort out the situations. And then we don't have to count, okay, this is how much we spend. Okay, to my mommy, this is what I will spend. To my daddy, this is what we will spend, things like that. The Lord will help us to build our homes on unity and understanding.
Thank you
Thank
so
you very
much,
much.
Mommy. Always looking forward to hear your voice and get your contributions. Always life nuggets, what we say. Thank you so much, ma'am. You just
You're
had it,
welcome.
47 years of marriage. And 47 years, that means that maybe 48 years ago, they already knew what we're talking about now. They sat down, they talked about it, they're planning. So it means that it's not new. So
Can I
why are
just
we
put in a word?
now? Yes, ma'am.
You
Yes,
see,
ma'am. Please go, ma'am.
yeah. One thing we did was we didn't have anybody to teach us, but we decided to teach ourselves. This book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, the Rich Dad, Poor Dad, two books, we just read them and see how they can help our marriage. Read books, read financial books, enlighten don't depend on your family. It doesn't work. What worked in your family may not, in your own previous family, may not work in this present family and in this present generation. So financial knowledge is very, very, very essential. The Richest Man in Babylon was the other book we read. The Richest Man in Babylon, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. We read those books inside out, so that we have to know how to manage money, how to handle our money and finances. So financial knowledge is very important, even in your marriage.
Thank you so much, ma. Thank you, man. And those books that you mentioned, they're amazing books. I haven't read the other one, the Richest Man in Babylon. I
The
haven't read
Richest
that
Man in
one.
Babylon.
Yes, but I've heard so much about it. I think I should have read it by now. Just laziness that I haven't sat down to read it, but I should get a copy and be able to do that.
Talks
But those
about how
two
you
books,
invest, how you do this. It's a very rich book.
yes, and
Thank you.
then Rich Dad Poor Dad. Those are good books, man. Thank you. That's self-education. So you see, they taught themselves. They taught themselves 47 years. 47 years is not, how they say, it is not being, Fabi. It's not being to be together and be able to say we're planning even before then. It's important, very, very important. Money and love are not mutually exclusive. Let me just say that. They don't go two different paths. They have to work together. That's the only way. You must determine which one is more important to you and how you intertwine it and all that. It's the interaction of it that leads to success or failure. The interaction of love and money is what leads to success or failure in the relationship. Some points that mommy made as well. She said secrecy. Secrecy, the Bible is correct. Bible says, he that hides the sin will not prosper. At times we look at it in a very spiritual way. But you know what? Where there's secrecy, where there's a secret, and in the marriage, you're hiding, you don't know, your wife doesn't know how much you earn, or the husband doesn't know, and you want to do things together, especially for the man. The woman might think that you actually earn more than you have. She might think you have more than you have much more than she thinks that you have, and you might be having much, maybe not even half of what she thinks that you earn. So what's the big deal in opening up and saying that this is how much it is, and let's lay it on the tables, and I'm hoping that the generations that are coming and the Gen Zs and the Alpha Gen will be able to learn from the errors, but I'm sorry, I'm not even as confident, because even they seem to be taking a different turn. Even now, even the young girls, the young men are making decisions that you're wondering about. But the reality of it is that forever and ever, money and love would always intertwine one way or the other in relationships. We're looking forward to hear from you. Some people have been on this, and we haven't heard. We haven't heard anything from you. We want to hear from you. Secrecy is not important. Secrecy is not good in marriage. It's not. Openness is important. Openness. And then she said something. She said, when they finish sharing everything, she now say, this is for you. Spend it how you want. That means that there was they thought about each other and say, pocket money there. So it wasn't as if there was no life. Like, if I tell her everything now, but you learn these things through courtship. You learn it in dates. You get to know who this person is. Don't let your relationship just be about going out and fancy things. I'm unboxing this. My boyfriend just sent it to me. I'm unboxing this. My girlfriend. All for social media. What is your true relationship status? What is in between? What is right there? That's what's most important. That's what is going to take you through the years. Are we together? All right. Okay, back to the crew.
Okay. I don't know. Damilola Smith Adegoke. Okay, I'm going to ask you to unmute now.
Good evening,
Okay.
everyone.
Good evening. And I have to confirm this. Is this my dummy?
Yes, it is.
Oh my gosh. I have goosebumps. Oh my God. Wow. That is good to have you here.
It's good to be here as well. I'm glad that I could join.
It's good to have you here. All right, please
Yeah.
go ahead.
Okay. So I just have a couple of things to talk about. I would start out by reminding everyone that we're all from different backgrounds. So when two people come together and they meet, we should have that behind our minds that we were brought up in different ways, and what's okay in one family might not be okay in another. What was thought in one might not be
Yes.
thought in a second one. Another thing I would like to say is that we all know ourselves and we need to be true to ourselves. So yes, I know that money is not very important to me, but I also know that there are certain things that I wouldn't frown at or I wouldn't like. There's no point in pretending just because you're trying to maybe act like you're being humble. No, there's no point in suffering in silence. If you know there are certain things you don't like, talk about it, say it. When you're courting, you want that's the time to talk about the issues, things that are important to you, things that are not. But a third thing I'll bring up is also that money is extremely important in marriage, being that it makes life easier for everybody. Now, I'm not saying it has to be everything, but it makes life easier for the wife, for the husband, for the kids. Yes, loving someone is also, I would say, priority. I'm not saying we should just marry the person or just date someone because they have money, but just saying that when life is easier for the family, you can breathe easy. You can, whatever pressures of life come in, when finances are not a problem because you didn't budget, they're not throwing your goods out on the street because you haven't paid the bills. The electricity is not being cut up. The gen can come on, just things here and there. It makes life easier. Every time you want to talk about, the school fees, the kids can't go to school today, letters. At that point, it's a trying time. I'm not saying you don't love the person or you wouldn't love. At that point, love is out of the door because you're stressed out. So you forget for that minute that this is someone that we're working hand in hand sometimes. It can get really trying and really stressful that you're just like, oh my God, what's going on here? How am I going to handle this? So being on a budget, talking about these things prior to getting married is really essential, because if you're getting married to someone's potential, and then later on you find out that the person is not a go-getter. The person is lazy. The person only wants to spend on themselves. They're hiding things here and there in the car boot, or they're hiding things in their friend's house, but they're saying, oh, there's no money for this or that, but it's all about themselves. That's one side of it. Or the other side of it, where the wife doesn't want to help with the bills. Things are mounting up. She can see that, the guy in his job, either he's just gotten laid off or there's a retrenchment going on, but they had to cap his salary. So everybody has to work hand in hand to realize that reality sets in sometimes where you don't have things under your control, but life happens. And we all have to roll with the punches and come together by the grace of God to work together. So I'll just say we just have to balance it out. Look at things. What do you want? What are your goals in life? I'm someone that I want to make it up to become a CEO of a company, and the person I'm dating feels women are not supposed to be. Don't bother the poor guy. Keep it moving,
Exactly.
because guess what? You might suppress your goals for them because, oh, I'm in love, or suppress your goals because I want to get married. And then you stress the living day out of the guy when you decide, you know what, I married this guy, I still want to be a CEO. So know yourself, to be true to yourself. Let the Holy Spirit lead you. Look to God to guide you and open your eyes as to what is it I want for myself. Where is God leading us to, either as a couple or separately, and be ready to say no or to let go, because it's better to let go before you get married than going through a divorce and the pain from that. Those are the few things I wanted to say.
Thank you so much, Dami. Thank you. And you shared a lot. You shared a lot. Definitely. And I know that we're taking away from that. Just even started by saying we're from different backgrounds. It's so important that we know that, and that we should realize that what worked in your background might not work in this new one that we're forming. So that's one of the things I say to when I'm counseling for premarital counseling classes. I tell my couples, I say to them all the time, I say, listen, your parents' marriage, that's it. A, it's not, this is your parents' marriage. B, that's your parents' marriage. This one is neither of theirs. This marriage is yours, and you're going to lay it the way you desire. You're going to build it the way you desire. You do it by yourself. I mean, something you don't just glean from theirs and think you're going to just create something new that'll be wonderful. No, and everybody has to realize that as wonderful as you think your parents' marriages were, guess what? They had their own issues. So you can't copy and paste. You cannot copy and paste. They had their own issues too, and they are dealing with, and they know how to handle. Maybe you never even saw it, but the reality of it is, you know, two different backgrounds. We have to work on this. And then I like the fact that you said you want to be CEO. Don't compromise and say, "Oh, but I love him," because you would never leave. You might make the guy. You might become resentful. Because when you now realize that, oh, the love is there, but as you grow older, you're like, I would have been CEO. I would have been CEO. Then you start resenting the man that you married, and that brings a lot of complication.
What's up?
It brings a lot of complication into that too. All right. Thank you so much, Dami. Thank you. We've gotten so much, and I'm so glad to see you. We definitely have to catch up behind the scenes. Definitely. Honestly, I'm enjoying this conversation so much, and I'm getting a lot. A friend of mine sent a message and said her father always said something. I don't know whether she's on the call. Please, is Bawa on the call? Is she here? Bawa, are you here? Did you make it in? I don't know. I'm not sure. Okay. But she said something, and she said her father used to tell them, or her father says, that money is the oil that stops love's engine from knocking. Thought that was so amazing. He said, money is the oil that stops love's engine from knocking. I said, yeah, you have to come and share it and explain it, But I also like the fact that, when Mami Adebayo spoke, she said, wealth does not equate love. He said, otherwise, the wealthiest people will have the best marriages and the best homes. And reality is, that's not what it is. So at the end of the day, love is there, money is there, but it's what you make of it. It's the interaction of the two. I go back to that. It's the interaction of the two, how you place it. Do you place money above? Do you place love above? Whatever it is that you're doing, you know how it interacts, how it plays out is what leads to success or to failure, to say it that simply. The other thing that was on my mind that I wanted to share, the Bible says this clearly. And most people would always say, say money is a defense. But guess what? So is wisdom. You say, I have to get money. Money is a difference. Money is a difference. Yes, in Proverbs. But the Bible also says wisdom is a defense. So it means that if you have money, but you're foolish, it can't defend you. But if you have wisdom, it will teach you how to manage that money. So we'll go back to that financial wisdom, financial unity in marriage, no secrecy, respecting the fact that we're from different backgrounds, all that. That's what makes it work. That's what makes it work. Aisha made up her mind in her own. Aisha said, I waited. I wanted somebody that could carry the lifestyle that I have. Well, I said, but there's so many people like that. And she said, yeah, but there's some values that I wanted as well. So meaning that whether she realized it or not, she wanted that wealth, but she also wanted other things. So the wealth itself was not the only thing. If it was just the wealth, knowing her background, she could have just gotten, quite a number of them. But she said there are other things I was looking at. So, that was something there. And then we have zeal. And I keep going back to that because I keep questioning him. Like 3 years of courtship. And you're telling me that she never showed any signs. Or maybe she showed the signs and you shoved them under the carpet. Each time it reared its head, you pushed it under the carpet because you did not want to deal with it, thinking she will change in marriage. She will change in marriage. Marriage doesn't change people necessarily. It just strengthens who they are. It strengthens who they are. It's people that you have and say, oh, somebody changed, and became a better person. Yes, it's the interaction with the marriage that helps with that. But the core of who they are, most times it doesn't change. It just gets bigger. So whatever you're seeing, just multiply it in your head. That's what you probably be seeing for donkey years. Donkey years, unless there's some kind of intervention, it's a bad thing like that. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. This is so interesting, and we're learning a lot. We're learning a lot. So a wealthy marriage is not necessarily the one that has the most amount of money, but we know that money oils it. Money helps because, like Dami said again, she said if there are financial issues, it can stress the marriage, and it's true. But the stress is more if you're not living on the same page. The financial issues, it can't stress the marriage. That's reality. Because even if you're not married, if you have financial issues, it will stress your own life. So imagine it's, you now have a couple, two people doing it together. But you will still do well. You will still survive if you are both on the same page. If you are both on the same page. I remember in the early years in the US, and I'll be doing the budgets because I'm the one that's in finance, even though over time I've left that, and I'll be doing the budgets, I'll be writing everything down. And I don't wonder, where did the money go? And then, he will come and say, hey, I paid this amount into the account last week. I'm like, it's gone. It's gone. And he'll be looking at me like, what happened? So I'm like, we did it. And he's just like, no, that's not what I meant. I meant, how did it go? But that's because there was trust. So I'm managing the money, and he's not hiding his paycheck. And we're putting it together, and we're working on it. And yet, they're still like, what is going on here? But because, you keep trying to be on the same page as one of you, it helps. It really does help. So openness, no secrecy, being financially responsible, like the young man that Carol spoke about, be financially responsible. I think is financially responsible. It's important, not some guy that's going to be showing up and like, okay, let me just take out. Then when he gets home, he's trying to balance his account for the next 2 months. No, it's not necessary. Let her know who you are. Let him know who you are. That financial weight that you carry, let them know. Don't come into a marriage thinking, oh, I've married some very rich person, could be male or female. And you come into the marriage and you have so many responsibilities that you did not tell the person about. And now you're thinking they're not meeting your needs. No, that's not right. That's not right. So let that be there. Open up, speak up. If you're coming into it and you have encumbrances of any kind, liabilities, don't hide them. Let whoever is going to be coming into that relationship with you wholeheartedly, then you have no rights to hide anything from them. You have no right to do that. And it's not fair. It's not fair. We're still looking at love and ledger, the true cost of happily ever after. And we have gotten so many nuggets today. The true cost of it is openness. The true cost of it is financial responsibility. Is knowing that our backgrounds are not the same, but we're going to do this together. Is knowing that if this person is like this when you're dating, is either you accept it and you don't whine, or you move away so they can find the person that will suit you. The true cost of it might be a sacrifice, like, I can't live like this, so let me leave it alone. Say, some, I can't do it, then let them be. But don't put a responsibility on them that makes them feel less than a man or less than a woman, because it's both ways. All right. Thank you. We have comments. Carol, can we hear the comments, please?
Yes, ma. Bawo, she's on YouTube. So she said,
Oh,
very interesting. I agree. The money is important because it lubricates the love so it doesn't knock. And he said, well said, Dami. Yes.
okay.
Then on Zoom, Isanke has asked that, how far along in your courtship should you share what you earn?
Mm, okay,
So
I'm
that's the
noting that.
question.
Yeah, I'm noting that. Go on.
Then she added and said, and social media is a scam and not a relationship manual. A lot of what is
Mm-hmm.
shown in social media is very carefully curated to bring the most likes and earn the most money for the content creator. The Bible is much better for everyone, seriously. Then Kende
Seriously.
Adebayo said, a peaceful home costs character, not just cash. Common money problems include overspending, lack of budgeting, financial secrecy, different spending habits, one spending freely and one saves carefully. I strongly believe every woman must be financially empowered. Don't prevent your wife from earning money, or do I say from working? This is for people who think their wives do not need to work.
Mm-hmm.
Ma.
And it's true. No matter what it is, I was saying to somebody, thank you so much for all the contributions, everybody. Thank you. And it's okay, I'll go to that question. I remember saying to somebody recently, I said, even if you're married to the wealthiest man, let's imagine it's a man now, the wealthiest man. I said, why can't you get involved in the charity? I said, why can't you get involved in a charity? Fine. And that's what happens in developed countries. You find these women from noble families or from very wealthy families. I'm talking about old money families. And even if they're not working to earn an income, they are working and they're learning skills. They're getting, they're making, they're building a network. They're building a network because at times some of them cannot work financially because of certain situations, but that's why they have charities. I'm sure you all know about those kind of families where the woman runs an NGO or runs a foundation and all that, and they do that, and they impact lives. So what are you doing? They're impacting lives. They're doing different things, and that in itself exposes them and doesn't let them become stagnant. Because at times too, that stagnancy of just being there, okay, you can spend them, you can go on vacations, but what impact are you making in anybody's life? So I was telling this person, I said, the fact that you're married to a wealthy, very, 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 very wealthy person doesn't mean you cannot have your own. You cannot do something. You don't have, the money doesn't have to be impactful. It doesn't have to be impactful. When I say impactful, the money that you're in does not have to, maybe you cannot even buy anything in your house. It doesn't matter. Earn it, do something, or run the NGO, run the foundation so that lives are being impacted. Very important. Very, very important that you are not just left. And it's a man, because at times, in very rare situations, you have the man being the one on that other side. So don't just sit back and become, resentful. Get moving on things. Get moving on some things as well, too. All right. And then to that question, it's okay saying, how far along in your relationship should you be before you share financial information? Okay. I'll say this and then others can contribute to it too. For me, number one, if you're working already, so it means that you have matured to a certain age. Okay, you have a job. You have to look at the relationship. There's no timeline. So I can't say 3 months or 6 months or 4 months. It's how is this relationship progressing? How much of themselves have they revealed? What are they saying? Am I knowing more about this person? Can I see where we're going? It's like a health condition. Somebody said, oh, how far along in a relationship should I tell somebody about my health condition? I said, it depends on how far. It's not every single person that you want to have your health reports in their hands. Because if you don't marry this person, that means you know, that person knows. No. You wait until you know that, you know, this person has shared of themselves too. You can see where the relationship is building. And that doesn't always take, it's not a timeline. Some people move very quickly and you can tell that, wow, they met 3 months after. You almost think that, because have we been together for 2 years? Because of the way they are moving, the things that they're doing together, the way they're carrying on. And you can tell where this relationship is going. On the other hand, too, you have some people that have been together for 5 years, and you can tell that one person isn't serious. So should you be divulging everything? I don't think so. So for me, it's the how far long is not a timeline. It's in the depth of the relationship. The depth of the relationship, like, do I know you well enough? How do you handle money? Are you the kind of person that if I tell you that I earn so much now, oh, okay, so I earn 10,000, $20,000 a month. What would your reaction be? Would you begin to build castles in the air? Would you start, buying things? Would you start spending in a certain way? Is that how you will handle it? And I would know without telling you if I'm interacting with you and we're in a relationship. So the timeline for revealing such things is the depth of the relationship, not the number of weeks or months or years together. Okay, that's my take on it. Does anybody have a different take? And do you still have anything to share with us regarding love and ledger, the true cost of happily ever after? True cost of happily ever after. Omikende said character and not cash. That's a catch for me too. Character, not cash. Not cash. It's not when that young lady said, oh, I think she heard somebody say that, she said too that she would rather cry in a Range Rover. I'm like, no, I'd rather not cry anywhere. I don't want to cry in a Marwa. I don't want to cry in a Marwa is a tricycle. I don't want to cry on a motorbike. I don't want to cry in a bicycle. I don't want to cry in a mansion. I don't want to cry. Why should I say it's better for me to cry in a Range Rover? I'm sorry. I think that in itself just it shows the value that you put on yourself. That's how I see it. It shows the value. Crying in a Range Rover is still tears. It's still pain as well. It's still that. So for me, I don't want to cry. I don't want to cry in a Range Rover. I don't want to cry on the tricycle, or in a tricycle rather. All right. Thank you so much. Any comments? Anybody? We're enjoying this. Love and Ledger is information. We're learning. If you're not yet married, you're learning something. If you're married, there's some things you can still change. There's some things you can still glean from this and take back to your home and say, we can do this right. We can do this better. Because at the end of the day, no relationship is stagnant. We can all get better. We can all get better. I remember many years ago when a friend of mine was going through an issue in the family, and I like her husband and I respect him a lot, and he and I got to talk, and but I gave up when he made a statement. I gave up, and till today I always say it broke my heart. It really did. And she makes fun of me about it, all the time. And I asked him, I said, what do you think you could have done better? What do you think you could have done differently? And he was quiet. And then he said nothing. That was shocking to me, because that made me realize that that nail was already, on the coffin, was that the final nail, that there's nothing. Because nobody should be able to look at their lives and their marriage, their relationship, and say there's nothing you can do better. That's a digression, some way, but I hope that somebody gets something from it. But that was for me. That's why I said, even if you're married, you can still learn from this situation. For him to say that to me, it was like, there's nothing you can say to this guy. If he's going to get a divorce from this separation, he's going to, because he feels that he did everything correctly. That's pride, and that's so wrong. That's so wrong. So no matter how long you have been married, this program today, I'm sure you can get something. I know I'm getting something from it. And if you're not married yet, definitely, you're just the best. You're the one that's getting the most from it, so that you know how to navigate this. Anybody else here? Please, we're going to be rounding up soon, so we really want to hear from you. Are there any comments to read, Carol? Or
Yes.
somebody on? Yeah?
Efosa has a question. She says, Ma, how about if one of the partners in the marriage is a spendthrift?
Okay, it's a spendthrift. And that's what I think. For me, that's what I said, that you have to get to know each other. If somebody is a spendthrift, that's the worst thing. Because it means that no matter how much money you bring in, the person is spending, then you have to figure a way to manage it, because you're already in the marriage. You're in the marriage. But I would have liked it if you could unmute and actually speak about that. What do we do? Does anybody have a contribution to that? If you're already in the marriage and one person is a spendthrift, how do you manage money? Before we go on to people speaking, I was watching a movie with my young lady that lives with me, Sylvia, a few weeks ago, and there's this man that was addicted to betting. Actually, I have to find that movie so I can play with my youth as well. Because I teach through movies as well. I like it because of visual generation. You engage them and you get to discuss. And I was appalled when they were on the dining table one day in their little dining table, their house. After she knew all that he had gone through, all he had done, what she had gone through rather, and all he had put her through. And she said, "Oh, our rent is the landlord is coming for the rent. We are both promised we're going to give 50,000 each to balance it. So I will send my 50,000 to you so that you will pay it." And I was thinking, are you insane? Someone who does not know how to handle money, someone who is dealing with an addiction to betting. He's dealing with an addiction. You want to put the money in his hands. I was appalled. I'm like, okay, maybe it's the script. That's how the script is supposed to be written. Well, honestly, in real life, when somebody has a situation like that, like the one that Pastor Foster just mentioned, somebody's is a spendthrift, you must manage it. You must protect yourself. You must protect your home by not letting them have access to funds that can damage you. You're renting a house and you want the landlord to keep banging on your door. You want your things to be thrown out. You have to protect yourself. Your children are sent home from school because somebody's a spendthrift. No, you protect yourself. In that situation, you make sure that your family comes first. And you have to be firm about it, whether you are male or you're female. Because there are women like that too. There are women like that too. Yeah, that means there's a man that said that he gave his wife, and this was, I could not get over it. He gave his wife their child's tuition, transferred it to her account. Their children, 2 children, tuition. Tuition in Lagos State in Nigeria in a private school is not small money. Different grades and all, but whatever it is, was money. And this woman said she borrowed some of it. So she partially paid the school fees. And the man thought she had paid everything. But the school wrote when it was half term and said, "Where's the balance?" And the man was like, "No, my wife paid everything." And then the woman said, and that what happened was her friends sister was getting married and they needed to buy ashwebi. Ashwebi, for those that are not Nigerians, if there are any on the call, it's like a wedding outfit, a ceremonial outfit that you wear as a member of a group. So she borrowed the money. She doesn't have any way of replacing it, but she borrowed the money to buy that. So if you're that man, next time, would you put the tuition in her hands? I won't. So, Pastor Foster, I hope I'm answering your question with these examples that I'm giving. I will not. I'll protect my family. I'll protect my children. If the person is a spendthrift, I will not expose him to the money so that he does not damage the family. That's it for me, sir. Did I answer your question, sir? Did I get it? Does anybody else have a comment on that? How do you deal with a spendthrift? Back to you, Carol. Any comments? And Dami, anybody's hand up?
Yes, Isonke wants to speak on that.
Okay.
But we have 2 comments from Prudence says, I am really learning. Thank you, Ma, for this piece. And Kendi Adebayo says, God bless you and Flakkie for this real life driven program.
Thank you, Ma.
Sorry, Ma, while I would unmute, it's okay now, but then after that, someone just sent me something on Instagram. If it's possible, I don't know if I can play it here, if you can hear it, because you had mentioned something earlier on. There's so many misinformation out there, and that's why let's talk about it is really, really, really important. Because people out there, social media is just so, because what we're actually talking about here is actually what they just sent to me, which I will try and play after. Hopefully, you will all hear it after this, okay?
Okay.
All right, Ma.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. I wanted to answer the question about what if one of them is a spendthrift. So I talked earlier about having those talks, right? Before marriage, or being observant and leaning into the power of the Holy Spirit to reveal the things that maybe your eyes too full of love and you can't see. But right, so Flakkie said, I will protect my family. She gave the example of the woman that used school fees money to buy ashwebi and all that, right? That's an extreme, but what if the person used it to buy what they thought was really important, right? So I think that if one of the couples, normally the funny thing is spendthrifts are always attracted to savers, because they love the fact that they can keep money because they know they can't. And savers always want to save spendthrifts because they think that they're a project that needs to be saved. So what will I do if my significant other, the one I love, is a spendthrift? I talked earlier about, and Nomi Adebayo said it so wonderfully. Mommy, I wrote in the chat that I love you so much. You're awesome. What I would do, what I would advise that couple to do is, remember we talked about the different types of budgeting for your marriage. Either you do project based, or you can even bring all your money together and everybody gets an allowance. Mommy Adebayo alluded to that earlier. For a spendthrift, that's the only method that works.
Yeah.
Finance in marriage should be done by the person who is good at keeping finances, not gender based. Not Daddy Wa is in charge of money when you know Daddy Wa could not hold a budget before you got married. It's not going to happen. If the man is good at budgeting, he takes care of the budget. If the woman is good at budgeting, she takes care of the budget. So in such a situation, I would advise, it depends on if they were friends before they got married and if there was no false impression on how much money available, right? If before you got married, and you're always buying a Louis Vuitton, meanwhile she doesn't know you smoke Gary to get that Louis Vuitton or whatever, then there is a misplaced expectations.
Priority.
But if that's not the case, misplaced priorities, unclear expectations. But if that's not the case, and you're friends, you want to sit down and have a conversation and do the budget of, you bring all the money inside and everybody gets an allowance. That's how we teach our children to be financially wise. You bring everybody, all the money into a joint account. Each person gets an allowance. Baby girl or baby boy, whoever the spendthrift is.
Yes,
When
and
you're
you
done
get
with
the
your money,
allowance.
you're done.
You're getting the allowance after responsibilities have been taken care of.
Of course, of course. Responsibilities have been taken care of, but there must be some discretionary fund. If not, any human being will begin to feel cheated in life if all they're doing is paying bills without having money to just buy whatever they like, even if it is the newest lipstick or the latest game. You know what I mean? That's how I advise families to teach their children financial wisdom, right? Like the example of the young man Dami or somebody said earlier, who budgeted for them going out. I particularly love that young man. I think he's a green flag.
Yeah,
But
that
anyway,
was
so
Carol
I
that
do
taught
not
me why he did.
digress. Carol, right? So if I don't, so the kind of a person that is a spendthrift, do the kind of budget where everything is brought in, you get your allowance. All right. The financially wiser person takes care of the budget. You get your allowance. When you're done, you cannot spend thrift. And please, such a person cannot have a credit card. All right. I don't know how it works in Nigeria, but a spendthrift cannot have a credit card like that
A
because
credit
when
card.
they're done,
Mm,
when they're
yeah.
done spending the money you allocated to them, they will blow the credit card.
Mm-hmm.
So either you get such a person, those credit cards that, those credit card Flakkie that you use at the beginning to
Yes.
raise your,
To
you
build your
have
credit
to build your credit. When the money is finished in the credit card,
is finished.
then it's finished. That's how you can help such a person be
Yeah.
financially prudent. I'm sorry we have to treat the person like a kid, but if you're going to be irresponsible in this area, then you have to learn until you are able to be accountable in that
Mhm.
area. That's just how I see it. And that's how I've
Thank
advised younger
you.
couples.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And that's reality. You have to guard it. You have to guard them and guide them as if they're kids. But because you don't want embarrassment. And you said something though that I wanted to bring out that you said what if they spent it on something that was essential in the family? When that happens, shouldn't it have been with the consent of the other partner? Because you should have your scale of preference for the things you want to do. So if you think it's essential, it should be at least with the knowledge of saying, you know what, we can't pay all these fees at the same time. Can we just divert and put this one here too? Then that way there'll be no issues. But if you make a decision by yourself to say, oh, I was supposed to pay tuition of Nigerian money now, 500,000, and instead, okay, I'll put 300 and I'll spend 200 on something essential. You have eroded the trust because that person, your partner, your spouse, did not put that money in your hands for that purpose. But you can discuss and say, "Can we do this?" It's kind of preference. When you're married, you're supposed to do this, together. But for the spendthrift, I'm sure Pastor Fosa has gotten all our responses now, and I'm able to work with that. Wow, 5 minutes to go. And honestly, we have learned so much. I have learned so much from the experiences, from the sharing, from the responses, even to what other people have said. And at the end of the day, what I can say is what? Love and money are not mutually exclusive. Love truly can be the oil, like my friend's father, Bawa's father said, that actually, oils the engine. Money can be the oil that oils the engine of love. But that's if there's love already. Some people, that money is what the law is what the oil it's all there is. There's no love there. It's just the money is the oil, but the oil is just it's just there. There's no love that is being oiled, that's being grown in that situation as a different thing entirely. But truly it can help. Yes, nobody wants to be stressed out. Dami mentioned that as well. We all want that. So at the end of the day, they're not mutually exclusive, but there's financial wisdom. There's openness in the relationship. There's budgeting. There's learning, how to manage our funds and how to cut our expenses down. How to say, not because, oh, I like this, I must get this. but because this is what I can afford now, let me do it, you know. But that's for those that are even in marriage. Or what about those that are dating? Like my dear Abike, who's 27 years old and saying, it's important to me that we know, you know, how much we that love, that money is discussed and all that. So you put that money, but money cannot be exclusive in the dating. Yes, your money and other values. And when is money there, how does the person handle money? Are you on the same page? Are you on the same page with that? Are they savers? Are they spenders? Do they understand that there's a responsibility here and there? Or they don't care? When money comes in, we spend. No matter how wealthy they are, that's the horrible. I mean, it's just horrible to live your life like that without knowing what holds next, you know, in your budgeting. And then for those that are dating, it's important that you don't put money at the top of it. That's from me. If you do that, and money is the most important thing, you will miss out on the core values of what make a marriage work. The things that make a marriage work is more than the money. It's more than the money. It's the love. It's the what's it called that? The honesty, the openness, the values that you share, the desires for the future. Those are the things that will make you stay together. It's your faith. It's how you handle issues. Even if money is there, and the Bible says money is a defense, and there's no wisdom, money will develop wings and fly. And then you will know that there's no love there at all at the end of the day. So that's what we're getting from this. That's what I have gleaned from all we have spoken about today. And I'm hoping that, you know, you have done the same as well. And then Mommy Adebayo said, a peaceful home, we're talking about the true cost of happily ever after. She said, a peaceful home also, she said, the cost is what? It's character, not cash. Character counts. Character counts. Honestly, growing up, it was never, how would I put it? It was not the most important thing to me. It wasn't on my scale of preference. Money was not, no, it wasn't. It wasn't. And if it was, then I would have married the person I married at that time, because I was a young man that was just starting his life and didn't have anything. But what was important to me was, does this person care about me? Does he care about God? Can I report him to God? Can he report me to God? Is God in this relationship? You know, because we're flawed as human beings, and so we will have our issues. But is there something that ties us together that is more than, you know, money? If it was the money, there are other people that were, you know, knocking on the door, like they say in Africa. They're knocking on the door, but they didn't have the character. They didn't have those virtues. Is anybody perfect? No. But you have to ask yourself, scale of preference, what are the things that you want? What are the things that you desire? Every single person that makes a decision at the end of the day, like Damilare said, you pay for it. Whatever decision you make, you pay for it. That's reality. The consequences, whether it's positive, whether it's negative, it's yours. It's yours. So I'm truly, truly hoping that we have gotten something here today, and that whatever decisions you're going to be making regarding love and money, you make wise decisions from all that we have said here today. We look forward to being with you next month. But before then, I'm going to hand over to them just because we have last minute comments and anything from anybody. All right. Back to you, Carol. And Dam is going to play a clip, right?
Yes, ma'am. So
Okay.
Prudence was asked, although Isoke said you've answered the question. So Prudence asked them, so what is if the spendthrift goes to loan apps to support their lifestyle without informing their spouse? Then Bukola has added that the couple should be individually financially independent and responsible to one another.
Okay. All right. Financially independent and responsible to one another. All right. And what's, you know, because the reason why I'm saying that again is because some people might think independent means that we don't put our money together. but we're responsible. But I know what she's saying here probably is they should both have something they're bringing to the table financially, and then be able to put this together to work. I think that's what she's saying, just in case somebody is misunderstanding that.
She says yes.
Yes, I thought so. Thank you. Thank you so much. All the way from Japan, sis. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Sis, can you have the comments? Any other comments?
No, it was just Prudence's question.
Okay. All right, Prudence, I hope we answered your question. I hope you got that. Thank you. So let's listen to the clip that one of the crew members was going to play for us. That means we're ready.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I would have to shut down everything to download this thing.
Oh,
But the summary of it, so it's a question. So, ladies, will you prefer a rich man who cheats or a faithful man who is struggling financially? And there are just two people that were talking about it, and I can still relate it back to this love and ledger because the first person who talk, our summary is that she cannot marry in the name of love. It has to be with money, but these are the things that these are the kind of messages that circulate around this present generation, that and then we find out that how did we get to this society that it feels like as if people do anything for money and nobody even cares. The morality is decaying and all these things. And I just wanted to, because you had mentioned it before, and maybe in the course of the week we're going to see how to put this on our page as well, so that people can connect
so we
with
can
us
have
and
a
then
discussion.
relate a discussion about it. It's just so heartbreaking to see that things like this are still happening, or probably people have this mindset. And then you finding the weirdest part of it is now that they have so many followership.
That's what
So
happened. That's why I was saying that, those that have messages that don't edify anybody, and in fact they have so many followers. So
because once
please,
they
those that are
spew it
here,
out like that, it
make sure
goes
you blow this
across
up so that
as
that's
well.
that's how it is. Well, the Bible says something. It says the path that is wider, where that leads. So we'll console ourselves with that, even as we keep thriving and striving at the same time to get more people on board, so that the right information is out there. And I know that God will help us. I know
Amen.
He is helping us already. Thank you so much again, everybody. It's been so interesting. I was looking forward to this. I'm always looking forward to having these conversations. And I keep praying that one day we'll be able to have a physical gathering. Maybe we'll have it in different continents. And just say, hey, and gather people together. That would be a cultural experience, an extraordinary cultural experience too. We have, one in different continents at just to discuss issues and see how the opinion and the culture shapes people's thinking. Like that. Thank you so much. Amazing crew with me. Thank you. God bless you. You guys know I appreciate you and I love you all. And for all those that have signed in, for all those that have signed in today, please share with others. Get them here with us next time, and follow us on IG, follow us and befriend us on Facebook as well. And then on YouTube, please go back, go watch old videos, like it and share. Really appreciate. Give us that thumbs up. All right. Thank you. God bless you. Oh, I think we have a message. I'm seeing messages. Can you read them out, even as we round up? I see them coming up, Carol.
Yes, from Lola. She says, Chai Dami, what kind of choices are those? A cheating man is a heartbreak waiting to happen, while a struggling man might be suffer head loading. Then Isoke said, how about a rich, faithful man? And Prudence said, yes, so I am on team rich and faithful.
And may God give you guys what you desire. In Jesus'
Amen.
name.
Amen.
Amen. That's off my head. Can you imagine? All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you once again. Please share, invite people next time we're here. And even before the next edition, just go on social media, talk about us. Thank you.